Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ETF2L Season 34 Week 3 matchup between Karnax, OK, Donk, Nice, Kalmany versus liest, doof. That is quite the title, but it is what we're watching. Both of these teams are kind of in the lower part of the table, but it's because they both lost to Rikuzen. I am Peter. We have Wiethoofd on production, and joining me is Master Organizer DuMmTm. How you doing, Dom?
Pretty good. You said losing to Rikuzen, but it's like more of a win for the Germans and just like weird tie situation for the Frenchies that was interesting to watch. It led to Rikuzen's immediate death afterwards. They went out not without wasting the Frenchies' time quite a bit. So here they are with at least some practice, but it by all means was looking fairly sketchy from what was looking like a fairly organized team at the beginning of the season. Rikuzen gave them a lot more trouble than I would have imagined, and the Germans had like a fairly easy time. So if we go by circular logic, which in TF2 is rarely ever actually something you should do, it looks on paper like a really good matchup for the Germans here. They have a team ahead of them that they are able to beat. In practice, you never know how that works out. The Germans have some lesser experienced players. The tables are, due to Rikuzen dropping, a little bit weird, but the end result is that both of these guys need some points to get out of the lower section here.
Yeah, like my point was, I might have said it wrong, but the point was that Rikuzen has played against both of these teams, so both of these teams, they're low on points because exactly. Rikuzen just gave them a fat 0. So they just got nothing out of that. So, it looks bad, but it's not as bad as it looks.
Yeah, its point is no one will also be able to get any more either.
Yep, indeed. So yeah, but I will agree that the Germans are definitely looking like the more like solid team so far. And just the fact that we have Generation Karnax, they came in from the qualifier and it wasn't exactly like super clean. Like obviously Boss Crew is still in here, and then they even tied with Boss Crew when they immediately played them again. So they definitely seem like they are at bottom of the table kind of team. But at the same time, it is a season. This is the depression season after LAN. People are maybe not taking it quite as seriously as they normally would leading up to a big LAN. So there is a lot of upset opportunity, in my opinion, in the season, just in general. But whether or not that's going to apply here, only time will tell.
Yeah, the whole table looks like fairly contestable. You have like Ascent, who looked like arguably like the strongest team in Europe, even if 7 would have shown up, probably, in my opinion. And then you have like probably Sonos Layers. You have like another tier with like Aura top 5, and then everything else is like really close. And it's not like Aura top 5 are looking that much better than everybody else. Clearly really strong, sure, but if these teams can improve fairly quickly, which so far they've shown decent ability to, then this could go every which way, basically. And the Germans always like kind of show up just barely enough to make it to playoffs. Last season missing out basically by nature of dropping points due to nickname reasons, which already started happening this season. Up until last week, they had -1 point for the second time in a row. I don't know how they keep doing it.
Do you actually want to go through the roster, because we can actually call them the Germans this time around, right?
Yes, they are a full German team this season.
All right, go through them. Tell us about your boys.
Yeah, the Germans will be Gazi and Voxy on the Scout class. We have LSD on Medic. We have Fishcup and Rising on the Soli duo, and Adelos on DuMmTm, which maybe not everybody's like aware of, but he did play the one demo for them in the past as well.
Yeah, I haven't ever seen him play DuMmTm. I don't think he's very much a scout main in my eyes, but it should be interesting. He played pretty decently the last time I watched him. I didn't watch their game against Rikuzen, so I'm a little behind on that, but I can't wait to see what he's bringing to the table. And then, of course, we have the Frenchies. This is an entirely French team as well, I think, so we can just go with Germans versus Frenchies. So that's very convenient, especially because the team names are crazy long. Right, but we have Olga on Medic. He's played basically every class in Prem at this point. I'm trying to think if he's played DuMmTm, but probably, And then we have Alien on Scout. We have Karnax as well. That's the namesake of the team. And we got Raph and Duo on Soldier. That's a pretty strong Soldier combo. Raph is just super solid. He's probably one of the most consistent soldiers in Prem, in my opinion. He just always performs at a consistently high level. And then Duo, he's getting better and better. And then finally, we have Deli, who is new to Prem, I believe. Like Deli69. I don't think it's like the Polish movie maker guy, Deli. Like that's what I thought it was the first time I saw it, but pretty sure those are two different people. But, he's already like gotten crazy frag clips, so already he's proven to me that he deserves to be in Prem, because it's entirely contingent on you getting sick frags.
Yeah, he used to be in a roster back in Div 1. I think that was the season they made third, and took a little bit of a break. Now he is here and already making waves. There's the one very convenient clip of him just destroying everybody from a few weeks ago. But yeah, like you said, you haven't seen the game of the Germans against Rekazan, and I did watch that later on, and it was really interesting. I was really surprised with how structured the Germans looked, while still playing fairly aggressive overall. So they did that sort of style that they already kind of were known for last season, with the like mixed nationality roster they had. It was looking fairly strong, and that's always surprising when you have that many like newcomers on the roster, like Gazi. Foxy, not really. He's been around a little bit at least, and he's really keen. I know that. Adelos to a lesser extent as well, and LSD definitely as well, having like played only like one lower table season of Div 1 before. It's just like high level experience. So overall, like for how much new talent there is, they all performed really, really well against a roster like Rekuzan. So it's only going to get harder from here on out, basically, for the rest of the season. It's like they're having to way to work the way backwards through the tables, so to speak, right now.
Yeah, they're doing the video game thing where they fight increasingly more difficult opponents.
Yeah, let's see how they reach level 3 right now.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting if the Frenchies will be able to like be the first roadblock here.
That'll be quite the interesting thing. We have the two maps today are going to be Sunshine and then Process, and I would argue that those two maps are pretty similar in the way that they play. It's you have the choke, and then you have the two flank areas that you can work with, and even those flank areas, even though they're inverted, they're kind of similar in the way that they're built up. And like the middle is pretty open and scout friendly, and then last is kind of difficult to push. I'd say that's probably the biggest difference between the two maps, but as a general, just the way the game flows, they play pretty differently, or pretty similarly, I'd say, overall. So it should be like whoever gets ahead first, and if you just have like dominating soldiers or scout, I think that's just something they can just completely carry through.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Rekuzan gave the Frenchies a lot of trouble last week on this map as well. They eventually were able to run away with it and make the scoreline look a lot better than it ended up maybe what it should be like, but the first half of that game was a lot of trouble for the Frenchies to establish the like position and everything like that. If the Germans can like do just that and maybe get ahead, like you said, it's going to be a much different story for the Frenchies to actually work their way from a deficit fairly early on. We'll see how it goes, especially in the mids. Playing passive and aggressive on this mid can be, depending on what the enemy chooses to do, really, really awkward. So I'm interested to see what options both teams choose to do on these mid fights here.
So they just all tagged up as B Basher. Like, I would assume that's Boston Basher, but is that some sort of in-joke that you would understand?
No. I feel like I don't want to either.
Maybe.
But we'll see. If it makes the play better, I'm all for it, I guess. Just having teams to it here. At least they remembered this time to use their names. That's always an improvement.
Yeah, I actually
don't want to drop out of playoffs again with 1 point making difference.
Yeah, that was pretty beautiful. Was that Joss that screwed them over, or
that was the season before that too?
Oh,
actually.
Okay. So it's just tradition at this point. All right. Okay, we're going to mid. It's going to be Wiethoofd versus Generation Karnax, Dong, Nice, okay, Kalmany, whatever. It's going to be Frenchies versus Germans. Looks like Deli's going to be quite a bit faster right now, but he doesn't hit too much spam. Idler's hitting quite a bit. Sorter comes in. Oh, I think that Sorter got a shot into the skybox, but the kill doesn't quite come in. And just the initial aggression has been quite a bit nullified. But here comes the Sorter in from behind. Nice pipe there by Idler's. Just protects his medic, and that's going to be a pretty safe mid here for the Germans. But medic does get out.
Yeah, they wanted to play fairly aggressive, I think, on the French side, but they never really got the initial like frag or damage to play off. The solly behind wasn't enough, so they were playing like fairly far forward positioning-wise, but never actually committed deep. And the German defense just absorbed them, and everything that ended up committing even just a little bit got taken down. Like you said, Adelos playing nice with the pipes, getting the kills needed, and both mats might survive, but it's still so much work less to do right now for the Germans to win a round. Rising, taking opportunity, not enough. There's too much in the way, and NG again. A sniper, I believe, as well on defense here. We'll see what that can do.
Indeed, it might be Rising going sniper again. I think I did see one game where Rising played sniper. So, he's done it before, and he might do it again. Looks like it's going to be not the case, and I don't think he has a banner either. So, he's just going to be waiting for an opportunity to see if you can get in. They're actually playing really aggressively on this left side. See if they can spam down the sentry gun. They're not close to getting onto the medic or anything, but you know, they've cleared a lot of space, and just the fact that they can walk in that far is kind of surprising. Here comes the soldier bomb in, gets the medic into the skybox, and actually almost drops him. He actually almost rocket bucked on him, but that was a great couple of pressure points there by the Germans.
I don't know how that didn't count as a healing splash, but either way, the Frenchies desperately want the counterforce out of it. Raf both in karnax doubles down on it as well. They really want something out of it, but they are starting to bleed players. Raf and karnax both going down for the attempt to sack, and now it's 3 down on full disarm. On last, this is looking really sketchy and a really great opportunity for the Germans. Just taking a minute to buff people back up. Gassy spawned up 2 now, and all they have is the heavy on last.
I feel like they could have been a bit faster here, but they're still going to be 2 men up. They can get the demo man down, they do. And here comes doof, they're going to be all invincible. This heavy, he's just stranded out here. He actually does get rising, but everyone's being cleaned up. 2 spawners will come out. Actually, this soldier, can he get there in time? Not quite. So, getting forced there and then losing 3 players on the push out to try and get the counter force. Not working out for them here at all. And that's going to be a quick and pretty clean 1-0 here for the Germans.
Yeah, just a bit of impatience punished fairly nicely. They were even a little bit too keen once they were later into the push, realized probably, and just rushed people in. They dropped a few plays off the beam. But it was such a good position to play off. It's hard to throw that one away. So Germans going up one early. Let's see how the mid fight goes if they can just run away with good defense here again.
The demos are equally fast, and it looks like Fiskov actually going to run into 3 players. He just get like juggled into the skybox, but he does make it onto the medic. Both soldiers are just chasing him, but they're not able to get him. Olga finally goes down, but they took so much time to actually get him that I don't think that was quite worth it. Looks like we have Raf. He's going to be hiding around. He's the only one up, and he just decides against him. He's just going to jump behind here and see if he can make some sort of magic happening on his own, but there's still 0 time on the point.
Yeah, both teams just taking their time, and with the interaction on mid, both teams like with the big wrap around, but it's all it takes forever for anything to die, but the Germans just with the better cleanup once the damage came in makes all the difference. Raf still hiding here after the mid fight. No one's found him yet, but he's just able to connect with his team, has fast spawns, and wanna just knock them out before they come through choke, and that seems to be just it, the end of the mid fight here very quickly of just playing quickly off their own spawns.
I think Raf was going for the big flank play there and trying to cut off the retreat, but nobody retreated through the cafe there, so he just caught no one, so he just got out alive, completely unhurt. That was pretty smooth. They just changed position there, so now we're going to be ready for a stalemate. It's pretty even Ubers. There's a slight advantage here in LSD, but not something you can...
But Rising's making moves from backlines, no one spotted him this entire time. Holger will go down so quickly to him, nice shots, and that's just the situation completely in their favor now. They had patience with the player behind where Ralph just didn't. He wanted to live, and Rising insisted on the big play, and it works out this time.
Yep, Auf Wiedersehen indeed. Olga goes down. It's going to be a full Uber advantage. Medic is still not up. They're not waiting for spawners here, so there's only going to be 4 players. They do catch out this soldier. Just pops him up in their shots. A nice job there by Fiskov, not getting caught out. But here comes the second soldier. Nice serve from LSD. He's very weak, but he is not dead, and that's the key right here. They managed to just push everyone out, and now they're going to be ready to cap. Actually, a nice sticky trap there from Delhi will take down Rising, but that's going to be the only casualty for the Germans.
Yeah, and they did make the common mistake of just bumping everybody in pond right away. They just let people get first and see if the stickies. Rising didn't manage to turn around in time, but I guess it counts as sticky cleaning, and traps being set up on second as well. This is a really common trap now that I've not noticed much before. The one on the where LSD is standing, it hit him, but it hit him right on the window.
Yeah, it did hit him, but not quite enough.
Forward, and he just does the rest of the damage.
That's perfect. He just ducks his head out right there and just splashes him down with the rocket. Yeah, LSD had no idea that he was there. So that's a full Uber gone. Air pipe onto the soldier. He will crater. Nice pipe there by Delhi. Continue just getting fractures. Demo jumps in. Actually gets 2 kills. Not the medic that I think he was looking for, but getting 2 kills here, that could definitely slow down any push coming in here, because they're going to cap mid for sure. But then will they have enough players to actually push forward here? I don't think so. There was a lot of spawners just coming in here for the Germans. It's only going to be Idolos. It is Idolos, so the demo went down, but do you think they can still push on this?
They might just try. They have this big ad here, and for now they don't know where the sniper is, or if there's even one in the first place, so everything takes such a long time for the Frenchies right now. They really just need to make a decision. They are just stuck going one way or another finally decide to go choke. Sniper might be just called now with Raph taking position in second here, and they want to just get people deep in for the damage. Draw and Raph both jumping in deep, taking a lot of damage, but getting them was mostly not enough though. Delhi still gets headshot by Rising anyway. It still does what they needed it to. I don't think the demo pick of Delhi here is enough for the Germans to make a play now that it is even.
Yeah, it does mean that there's no stickies on the door, so like scouts and soldiers does have an easier time just walking out here. Rising's gonna actually use this opportunity to try and see if he can get an angle on the medic, but Olga's just playing so close to the wall right here that there's just no way. Oh, actually there was an Uber force. I didn't spot this at all. What happened here? LSD has popped, and they're just gonna use that to walk out here, but it was even Ubers, and the Uber has just not even been popped from Olga yet. He's not even pressured. Like, this is not even a counter where they're just pushing them back, cleaning up players, and this is a complete disaster. Did you see what caused that Uber to get popped?
No, I just saw LSD take like 30 damage, so they must have just thought people were close, and now just this big opportunity for the Frenchies, just walking on the point with their own Uber, and there's nothing anyone can do on the German side. If they block, they will die, and they can't even consider it at this point. It's just a lost cause with the Uber running onto the point, so really strange Uber, like you said. I didn't see exactly what caused it. I saw LSD take damage, and I just assumed they thought people were close and hoped to catch people unaware, but it ended up just not catching anything at all, and they didn't just use Uber for nothing, they lost 2 as well, which made the whole push to last even easier.
Yeah, that was not even like a real last push. That was just a fight on second that they won so hard that the last didn't matter. Looks like Soldier's going to be a bit more passive this time around. They're going to just wait a bit on the tower before they jump in, but Fiskov has made it in behind. Rising comes in to join him. Demoman has gone down. Fiskov just such a demanding position right now behind them in choke, and everyone is moving forward. However, the medic has gone down for the Germans. LSD has gone down. Can they keep Olga alive though? No, not quite. Actually, Gazzy's on a 4 kill streak there on that mid. Just gonna get spammed down by Dwo up on top here. So if Fiskov, he can get this med kit, yeah, he's just gonna go fight. Join MGE fight. Let's go. Get the first air shot. Oh, he just jumps out, but he could be back.
Yeah, it just entirely depends on spawns, and at bare minimum they will have a 5v6 fight in their favor on the French side to take. I'd be surprised if they don't take their chances like last time when it was basically even as well. Then both teams actually consider trying this, both soldiers jumping up tower. Rising wins that 1v1. That swings numbers back around in the Germans' favor. They might just want to keep fighting here.
Yeah, the Frenchies, you can see they're already on their way out. Just losing that 1v1 was actually just enough. It goes to show there's how much of a knife edge it was all dangling on, right? Because if Rising loses that 1v1, then it's probably completely different. And you just have that position up in the bell tower, and you can just rain down death. But actually, very aggressive pushing in here by Fichkov. Looks like he might want to try and push there, but it is completely even Uber. So it's a bit weird. Maybe they're just going to dot push. They are. They're just hoping that Olga's not going to be able to build in time, but he will build in time. Nice little air pipe there from Delhi as well. Soldier's gone behind Fiskov. He's gonna be not able to do much. He did pull players back, but the idol is going down as well. It does mean that this is a quite superior Uber for the Frenchies.
Yeah, with Adlos dying in the midst of all of that, the player behind just didn't allow them to really still take any space, which otherwise would be such a great opportunity for the Germans to take advantage of. Now it's the Frenchies in full control right now. Even have the Fischkopf spawn not happened yet. Going deep, it's not enough. Spam, stickies, pipe, whatever. All flying in.
Oh, he gets jumped. Oh, he drops. What a jump in there by Dwo. He saw his opportunity. Like, he didn't want to let him get out for free. And he just forced him to pop or die. And looks like die is the choice there. Actually, Karnax is completely destroyed there by a spam rocket just chasing him down. Just catches him perfectly. And now the medic's going to get jumped by 2 soldiers. He's probably going to have to pop, but he only has 95%. Not going to be able to build it, so this is not a fun game to be a medic. Absolutely crazy action right now. It's going to be a counter re-push onto mid here. I think that's correct, the way I said it. But man, LSD, he's up. He's going to have a scout with him. I don't think he's on Kritsky or anything. No, he's not. But he does have an advantage to work with, but not quite a lot of players yet.
Yeah, both of Blue slowly coming up through back in the onto second. Don't want anyone to sack for their medic now as well, given that they have the big advantage now. Really unfortunate for LFD in the first place to die there. He was so close to getting through the door to get to the pack. If he had a scout with him, this would have been a much different story, but he was just all on his own. And that sometimes just makes all the difference, so Germans somehow double turn around the situation back into their favor. Will have the big advantage here, and opportunity to play off at any moment. It's just onto the Frenchies to react to it properly. You couldn't just give this up for free and delay a little bit, or just all sag for the attempted drop here. For the moment, it's mostly people playing passive and 2 going for the backup. You can't the drop all the way in deep on Cafe and actually walking over Rising with that as well.
I think Ryzen actually traded well enough there. He got 1 kill in the 1v2 and then also damaged the scout quite a bit. But it has actually pulled players back. It's a very difficult point to actually push on right here. As Voxer is trying to get out, he will die. So it's a man advantage right now for the Frenchies. Will they be able to push in with it though? They're just cleaning up some stickies now to try and get in through this choke. And they actually do manage to force the Uber out here. They have forced themselves though, so it's just an Uber fight. And it looks like the Germans actually have a bit of a advantage in their positioning, but never mind that. They actually just all drop down to the low ground. And it's just a complete crunch. I think there was a small air shot there from Fitchkov as well, but it's a small saving grace. It's just not enough, and second point will go to the Frenchies just winning that fight.
Yeah, spawns are not up for a little while either, so it's all on Adelos with some sticks in the point of Voxy on Heavy eating the damage for the rest of his team to be able to spawn. It's so much work to do for 2 people though, and the Frenchies are doing it perfectly at Go with a nice little air shot as well. All of that just from karnax, like taking the fight with Joe behind lines and baiting out like a backhand threat that never came out, so the Germans never tried to contest mid more than they maybe could have, and it ends up working perfectly for them, building momentum into last.
I also noticed that the Germans, I thought they had like the high ground, because when you fight on second, normally standing up on that plateau with the high ground is a really good thing, but they were all just trying to retreat, so they just dropped down onto the low ground and then just got slaughtered by the Frenchies, and Dwo himself gets slaughtered right there, and Raph is behind lines as well. He hasn't done a whole lot though, and I think it's just not going to be enough. Daily gets completely overwhelmed, and now everyone from the Frenchies are just out. Raph's going to come in here and see if he can save the mid. He gets a nice rocket onto him, but it's not quite enough, and that's going to be another mid to the Germans.
Yeah, and sometimes it just really comes down to the quality of your soldier players. The Frenchies just got shut down early with Draw, and Raph couldn't do much either, so he had to retreat for a little while. Meanwhile, Rising, and especially Fishkov, did so much damage with the bombs, got 1 as well straight away for the rest of the team to play off. So, same idea, different execution worked perfectly for the Germans. Rising wants another great bomb, but not quite hitting that one. Not any good target, met all the way in spawn, and the gun won't fall either.
Yeah, I was gonna hit
goes
a
down
nice
double bomb.
Oh, what?
At the same time, they counter-sacked so quickly. That's so good. They didn't give them any time to wait here. Just immediate counter-aggression, and it just caught them unaware in the right moment. Really well done by the Frenchies, and they want to play quick with this. They don't even have the spawns up yet. They just want to play off a team without heals coming out from lower into second.
They pressured their house so well here. They took very little damage. The Scout's going to be the only one in here. Actually does about 100 damage there to Olga, but that's the only thing there. So that just goes to show how important it is not to take spam damage as a medic, right? Because if a Scout runs in and does 100 damage to you, it makes a huge difference if you're on 150 or if you're on a 100. It becomes really scary otherwise, but yeah, that wasn't really a scary point at all. Sword on top of the bell tower, trying to see if he can spot anyone out. Actually does get the demo man down with the help from his team. So Deli a bit overextended there in choke, but he will end up going down. This Uber advantage is going to be pretty difficult to use. They don't quite have the manpower to actually push through. They are going to continue to push in here, but I think this could be potentially a very big mistake. You do actually see the Germans playing very passively on the low ground right now, but the medic, he's just in, he's caught in, so he's going to have to pop here. Both Ubers have been popped now. This one Scout just going to body people out, and yeah, they're just going to retreat out here. So, a bit of an over-aggressive push in there by the Frenchies. They didn't quite have the advantage or the manpower that they needed to go in here, but I mean, they also got out, so no love lost. I don't see you, Bogdan. Alrighty.
Olga still has the fraging left in himself, it seems. Gets one. Daddy just gets body blocked by Rising, I think.
Oh,
Still
medic goes down. Rising just perfectly times that. Just jumps in and gets him. He's gonna die to fall damage there. He does manage to do a bunch of damage onto the medic, so like, unless the Frenchie, like, they need to just cap this out immediately, because respawners are about to come in, and yeah, they don't get there in time. And now they have an uber disadvantage. They do get second point though, but Ryzen just timing it perfectly. But let's just hope LSD doesn't get his 4th drop of the map here as they inevitably try to push out.
That was such an awkward interaction. They both just tried to sack to choke at the same time. Everybody bumps into each other, and still every target goes down at the end of that. Fishkov, speaking of sacking, tries to make space for the rest of the team.
LSD
just goes past him.
No!
He will fall to his death.
Oh no, I don't think it's fair to call that a drop because he didn't have it, right? But man, it is just so rough that just he keeps getting picked off when they do these pushes. And right there, that was just... If he had been like an inch lower, I don't think he would have taken fall damage and died. That's just so unfortunate there by LSD. Man, so now it's going to be a full Uber advantage here for Olga. They're going to be pushing in. Looks like it's going to be top right. Never mind. They're rotating around, trying to make up their mind. We will see. It will be top right. Going to send in the demo man here. Not even going to pop that early. Finally going to send in the demo man aggressively. Scouts on the point as well. They haven't actually gotten that many kills or frags yet. There we go. The demo man going down. That's really huge. But Idol or Delhi is just so weak right now. And I don't think it was quite enough there to get it out. Or to get the space they needed to cap it out. So now they're just going to retreat.
Yeah, they did so much time with the demo man that the heavy just took, like, dealt so much damage in return, and while everything was taking so long, everybody has to leave really far back, wait for spawns, except for Raph. He wants to get another shot at the medic here. Worked out well so far, it seems, but this time not so lucky. Scouts are where he gets shut down, and no one else wants to commit onto this. Slight ad for the Germans, not a tremendous difference, but maybe just enough to play quick into the mid here.
Aggressive pushing in right here. Soldier's going to jump in first. That's Fiskov, and then he needs the rest of his team to pull in here as well. Looks like that is indeed what's happening, but this Soldier comes in very aggressively. LSD's going to get another scare. He's on about 70 HP, and he's been on this kind of low HP before, and he just knows that there's such a high probability that someone else is going to just be flying in, right, like trying to drop him. But not this time around. Raph is nowhere close. Both in short right now. Raph's going to try and see if he can get him. But no, he's going to get picked off. I think that was just completely predicted by the Germans. So they're going to be able to take second now. And they managed to use that man advantage really well.
Yeah, it might just be enough that like they're playing a little bit more careful around the situation with the medic again, like they did earlier. To not have these things happen. Nice little jump in by Rising and clean up by his scouts to just walk over the room. Hit goes down. They want another shot at the medic. Fishkop tries, doesn't hit the jump he wants. The gun is in the way. No way for him to get past it to get to Olga. And the Frenchies have been really quick on the counter aggression, so I'm wondering what the action is, you know.
Looks like this is not going to be one of those cases. They have a sniper as well, so maybe that's going to be a bit slower.
Just one and Cass also just tries to walk at them. The Germans actually try to keep aggressing here off the player down situation themselves. Rising wants a 1v1 in lower, and Gazi just tries to walk past the demo onto Olga, has a gun to back up into the so that won't happen at least. It still kills any potential for, I think it was Raph and lower to sack himself. They just kept the aggression up onto people who tried to class them on second in the first place. So sometimes offense just is the best defense here, and to not have anything happen to you, and it works out this time. Off classes are here besides the gun. We have somebody spy check at Duo as well as Karnax on Sniper, so the Germans need to still be careful though.
Indeed, there's a lot of off-classing going on right now. Right, there's like Spy, Sniper, Engineer. It just makes it really difficult to be counter-aggressive. And actually, the Germans are going to completely walk in on this left side. There's just no pressure on them at all. Here comes two soldiers in. Finally going to get them down. There you go. There's some revenge crits going on. I think the Sentry only got one kill, so he should have one more kill. Never mind. He has so many crits. I think he just shot like 4 or 5 of them, but he unfortunately doesn't quite get it. Scout's going to put pressure on the point here as well. Just the box take being an absolute nuisance and just dodging these rockets so well. Scout comes in from behind, gonna save him out. Finally, Uber gets forced, but there's also a bunch of time on the point. And crucially here, LSD is just way outside, not in a dangerous position at all. He has a full Uber advantage. And that was just chaos going on, and it works out so well for the Germans.
Yeah, exactly. They just made sure that it is going their way and that LSD is safe where he is. Which leads to them having this big advantage right now into last. They still have to deal with off-classes here. Sniper could just drop players right away. The gun needs to put in the work for them. They need to be able to deal with that quickly on the flip side here. We'll see what they're able to put up for the last push. Everybody in the Frenchies seems ready.
They need to dodge the sniper bullets here of Karnax, and they're just going to pop in immediately. Actually, the demo man was exposed for a bit, and the soldier has taken a headshot as well, but the sniper has gone down. So it's looking pretty good so far. They've gotten 3 kills already. They need to get this Pyro down as well. The Pyro is behind the point. Yeah, he's just going to get completely overwhelmed. One guy eats the stickies, and that's going to be a last cap. So really playing well off of that Uber force, and then just having a very clean push in here. 2-2.
Yeah, really clean push, like you said. Just knowing what they need to prioritize from right to left, get everything in the corner, and just jump in with the Sollies with all the might they have. works just fine here. 2-2, like you said, tied up the scoreline again, keeping it really, really close for this matchup right now. We'll see how it goes on the mid-fight. They've been fairly close as well so far.
Yeah, I'd give a small advantage for the Germans on these mid-fights. They've been looking slightly better, but it's not been an all-out thing. Soldier's going to jump behind here. Raph, he's pretty weak in choke, but he is just boxing them out. And the same thing with Dwo. It looks like the Germans have eventually cleaned up enough people, but this is just so chaotic. Everyone's so spread out. DuMmTm actually going to jump in super aggressively. Alien's just going to take down Idlers. That seemed like the Germans just at some point pulled the trigger, just saying, alright, everyone just go in. And then they all just died.
Yeah, they just didn't know where the medic was hiding. Olga was just like near Tetris playing around the corner to not get seen. Idlers decided to just jump into flowers, hoping he'd catch people there, and the scouts doubled down on it, but they just didn't have the positional knowledge for the medic, so they all walked past him basically, and Olga will have this Uber for last, seeing as they will get sacked for free here. We'll see what the Germans can put up for the last of themselves. I see a gun, I see a heavy, and a sniper, so they have the full deal here. They don't want to drop around right now when it has been this close for the past 20-ish minutes.
It's still 7 minutes remaining, so there's plenty of time here. Even if they do fail this push, there's still going to be a lot of game to play still. But they're getting ready around the corner. If they wait too long, they're just going to run out of Uber advantage. LSD, he's on about 70%, but here it comes. DuMmTm actually gets bonked quite a bit, so he doesn't manage to jump in quite as aggressively as he wants. So Fiskov does go down though, and they're just pushing everyone into spawn. If they can clear this point of stickies and get onto it, they can do really well, but the reflect from Gassy, that does like 1 million damage, just roughly rounded out. But now it's going to be a really close fight. This double scout in here. Soldier somehow just... No. One scout on the point. Can he fight off this medic? He can. Oh, wow. They almost got that just because there was a rocket bug on the wall from Fiskov that didn't kill the scout. But eventually they do manage to get it.
Yeah, really, really close call there. But it might just be what the Germans need to win this now. They get not the biggest of advantages out of this, but anything right now makes such a big difference for them in their own favor that it might just trigger some aggression for them to take the second point. But the Frenchies on the flip side also don't want to let anything go here. Rising counter jumps him straight away, deals so much damage, nothing dies yet. There's the follow-up aggression, everybody going deep in choke. Where Rising just set things up to die, last-ditch effort by Dwo, it's not enough to get LSD. Really well done between Rising initiating and the rest of the team following up on it.
Once they just collapsed into choke, like I think in the second round when Rising did that, everyone just died so quickly from the Frenchies. It just turned on an absolute dime, and it was looking like a pretty even fight, and then all of a sudden, it was all dead. That was a very quick, just initiation there, or the way that switched. So now the Germans going to be in the exact same situation that we saw the Frenchies in before. They have a bit more of an Uber advantage, but that didn't play a part before. Sniper, engineer, no heavy, but double soldier on the right side. Let's see what the Frenchies or what the Germans can actually do here.
Wiethoofd goes down straight away as the Uber comes in. The gun will live for so much longer, and maybe even the entirety of this Uber duration. Rising getting shut down entry as well. Everything going wrong here, both on combo and on flank. So it's looking dire right now. The Frenchies have Uber and 2 picks to play off. Gassy taking a bit of a fight, and Lower will escape rough in deep already, but he's all alone right now. Not waiting for the rest of his team. Gassy on the other side next to the enemy combo does not get past through Olga though. So it delays a little bit, but at the end everybody's still alive. The Frenchies still just get it more or less for free with a little bit of just like single player action here.
Yeah, we're in this seesaw situation. The Frenchies, they have Uber advantage right now. You can see the medic trying his best not to...
No one's with Olga! Fiskov just has the freest medic of his life, and Olga living on the mercy of a good server, getting out in time to not get hit by more than one rocket by Fiskov. That was a close call, and like I said, nothing was with Olga there. No scout to be found.
Yeah, he's lucky, he's good. Actually, Soda's going to come in super aggressive right now. Olga, once again, is barely surviving there. And actually, the Uber has been forced out as well by Dwo. He's going to get that, and there's just no way that there's going to be any aggression. Actually, Idlers and Voxtech have both been caught in. Voxtech somehow managed to just walk over 2 stickies and escape with his life. That's just the scout class in a nutshell right there. But Uber advantage is still real. They're going to come in on this right side. There's a heavy. There's no sentry gun at all. They don't even need to pop on entrance. Scout's already putting time on the phone. He actually goes down. Doesn't get saved by his medic in time. But the heavy has gone down. Now the medic and scout and the demo, and they're all just playing on the point. That's going to be enough soon. The Frenchies take a crucial lead here with about 4 minutes remaining, 3-2, and that was quite the back and forth round, Dom.
Yeah, both teams just having their own shot at last, and in the end it comes down to almost throwing it with a drop on a player, but then saving it as well by just nice flashing onto people on the point. Like, leaving the point capped at all times, but also flashing another player at the same time, so no one dies to the stickies. Really well done there.
Pretty nice spam from Delhi here into choke. There's some decent amount of damage. Right now, Soldier's going to be jumping behind from the Germans. And just everyone's being jumped in there. Duo's going to get completely just anti-aircraft gun just taken down. Soldier comes in again, Rising, putting on some pressure. That's going to allow everyone else to walk forward. There's a huge opportunity right now for the Germans, just completely overwhelm this three-man team of the Frenchies. Look like they're going to get down Gassy with the scout. So barely an escape coming out from Olga. But again, the Germans, they're looking slightly better on these mids.
Yeah, I really like the way Rising and Fishcop initiate the bombs, in that they always threaten to go straight for a player, but usually never really going for like one directly, and are always able to just like leave right after the bomb into the backlines and just threaten another one. Whereas Draw and Grab are a lot more committal to the bombs, just really going for LSD, and if they don't get them, they will die, which happened yet again. So it just makes a bit of a difference that the Solis on blue have that bit more of a survivability factor going for them on these mid fights right now. Will give them mid not in any tremendous fashion, with the chase on the medic not going through here, so it will have to go through a second push first.
Yeah, they're actually just gonna go into second here, just Ubering in 2 scouts. They didn't want to go for an Uber exchange or Uber force or anything. They just go for the straight exchange. Actually, Fiskov takes down the scout. They got plus forwarded by 2 scouts and just tanks it and just shoots the ground there and actually takes them down. The reason that the Germans are being so aggressive here is that they're running out of time. And people are just being absolutely mulched in choke right now. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 fight right now. And Gazi is a scout, so he's probably going to have the advantage. But at the same time, LSD is pretty weak. They're going to go on to here, see if they can actually get anything. But the respawners come in. Man, this is just so close. They're just scrapping this fight out. They need to get these kills. They need to just win this fight and get second point. And they are making headway, but you can bet your ass that the Frenchies, they're going to give them a hell of a fight here for it.
Yeah, they really don't want to get them to space for free, but they kind of were forced with the scouts approaching. Eventually, fight properly starts the moment they get like pressure towards point. Gazi gets one, they get another player on the other side as well. Karnax goes piped down by Edlos just arriving through choke, and they just slowly fall back with Rising the backlines, letting them re-aggress, but with the threat of Rising behind, it's enough damage for the force. Really well played for the Germans. Just aggressive start and then slowly falling back once they had the players where they needed them to be. And that force will mean a lot. They only have 50 seconds, not much time, but right now all they need is one good push into last.
It's been going wrong for both teams quite a lot of times, but this is about as good as an opportunity you can have. 40 seconds is a lot of time to work with when you're just pushing into a last point like this with an Uber advantage. And I think they're going to go through top right. They're going to Uber in the scout and the demo man, take down the center gun immediately, try and see if they can lock people into choke. They need to clear the point of stickies and trying to get some time onto it. They get down the Raph as well, as he was just jumping onto the point. They're trying to put time onto it now. They're actually doing it so much work. They're killing so many players, but this double pipe from Delhi, and then the Uber comes out. They just weren't quite fast enough, but they're just going to have to just dodge for their little lives right now. Gassy's behind the point. 2 scouts behind the point with a medic. They need to fight the 6 seconds remaining. 5 seconds. Another great pipe coming out here. I think that might just be enough. One rocket's going to save it for the Frenchies. One hell of a close end here, but the Frenchies will take the first map 2-3.
Another really, really close call, and this time it's the one that decides it all here, like you said. What an ending, and the Germans were just like slightly off the timing. They didn't get to the medic quickly enough. They took just a little bit too long to get the big damage classes out of the way that are heavy, that they really wanted to see gone, but they just let Olga live long enough to get his Uber in the first place, and even then, like, the Uber did just enough work to get damage on people that the moment the spawns came in, it was pretty much over. They got like a kill, I think, with the Uber, and that was enough. Which was, like, timing-wise, it was still possible. If the Uber doesn't do anything, there was just enough time between the spawns and the Uber fading that the scouts could have just done a lot of work, but it just didn't happen quickly enough. And here we are. The Frenchies will take a win for a 2-3. Really, really close game. And this could go any way on the next map, I think.
Yeah, it's very difficult to pick like a clear favorite right here. And we're going to take a look at some logs and oh, it looks like I have to make an apology to LSD. I thought he had like 3 drops. He only had 1.
And there were just like a lot of like really unfortunate deaths. I don't think many of which were necessarily his fault. They just took more aggressive position, and something slipped past them while they were making a play themselves. Where he just like buffs people forward, and it's just stuff that like really you can't afford to have happen to you at this level anymore.
Yeah, Raph and Dwo were also both just very good at just getting in there and just getting that final rocket off, right? Like either hiding in spawn or just jumping in as he was retreating and just getting all the way past the entire team, as you so mentioned, and then just being completely alone and getting that pick off. And like that feels like a drop in my head, I guess. So that's just why. But, you know, you lose your medic. That's really the big thing there. But you can just look at the damage and the kills and everything, and you can just see how close it is. So the Germans, they actually had slightly more kills. They had quite a bit more damage. Well, a bit more damage, but they still lost. So that should tell you everything you need to know about that. They also won every single mid except for 1. Now, that's pretty unusual to lose a map when you're that dominant on mid.
It's just, I think, a consequence of like still losing their medic in a lot of the cases on these mid fights. That just made it come down to like weird refights, and I think more often than not the Frenchies just took it off the back of like better spawns at the end of it. So while it says more mid fights heavily won by the Germans, I don't think realistically that's quite the case here at the end of the day. It's just a consequence of really strange mid fights a lot of the time.
Yeah, things were definitely chaotic. I think we can both agree. It was very difficult to get a good idea of what was going on at all times. Like, I was just free camming around, and even with that kind of just overview, I was still struggling to figure out exactly what was going on, because it wasn't like the entire team was just like moving across like a wall. It was like both teams would send in soldiers behind lines, and they would just like either jump further behind or just stand around and spam a bit, and then they'd take fights, and then scouts would fight each other. So it just became very muddled very quickly. And in those kind of situations, it just whoever has the best DM and whoever has better teamwork will just win out in the end there. But it didn't look too organized from either team. But I mean, you got to give it to the Frenchies here. They came in as the underdogs, and they managed to just scrap out a win. It looked pretty bad for them early on, like they were just being completely outclassed, but then they flipped the switch and they were just the better team throughout. Or, well, not throughout, but like they just managed to edge out the Germans in a lot of situations, and they completely earned this win. And then they even managed to hold on at the end there.
Yeah, I think it was just a matter of the Frenchies like realizing how aggressive the Germans are playing, and like the Germans did themselves, and like countered aggression with equally some aggression of their own. And like mentioned before, they always found their way with the Saudis deep into the combo, often onto LSD as well. They always had, like both teams for that matter, but the Frenchies started it later. Maybe as a little bit of a reaction. Always had like the counter aggression quick to like deal with anything coming their way as well, which just led to like these chaotic fights starting the way they went down, and a lot of the mad deaths happening that way as well. So it's just a matter of the Frenchies like kind of slowly realizing what the Germans are trying to do and like meeting it with similar ideas.
So what do you think the Germans need to do here on this second map if they want to get 3 points?
It wasn't going so bad with the aggression, with like the quick counter sacks and stuff like that. It just needs to be a little bit safer around the combo, so that Raph and Dwo can't have as easy of a time dealing the big damage for the rest of their team to play off. They need to be ready for the Frenchies to do similar things at this point. They had to deal with it for now 30 minutes. If there's not a way for them to like address the issue of just Raph and Dwo dealing that much damage for the rest of the team to play off, then it's just not going to go much better. So that's like the big deal, I think, for them to look at.
Yeah, I also think they need to just park a scout on the medic a little more often.
Yes, definitely.
You know, just to make sure that the soldiers get chipped down as they approach their medic. It's really good to have scouts forward to just like slow people down as they come in initially, because then you can get them onto the ground, and then you can just have your soldiers clean them out like really easily. But you also need to have a scout just ready sitting on your medic and just finish them off as well. So I think we just need to coordinate that a little bit better. You know, maybe they have that locked down here on Process. Process is by far the most common map that people play. So it's very likely that their positioning is good just because of how used to playing on process that they are and just how standardized every positioning and hold is. And even the push-ins and the suicide waves, even those are pretty much standardized at this point, right? Like, you're probably not going to see something super creative and unusual come in here. We've probably seen it all already, so they just need to be ready for it. And maybe that kind of standard thing will just really benefit them, the Germans.
You will see, I think, on that regard, the Frenchies will have an advantage on this map just because they've been playing for so long. And even just from the pure mix perspective, not necessarily with this roster, but just in general, they've played so many games with like these 6 people that you'd imagine that there's a lot of work that has gone into process before. Where the Germans, sure, they have like a core going on here, but not to the same level that the Frenchies have. So on paper, again, the Frenchies have like the upper hand here, but the Germans, with their aggression, have been able to contest them really, really closely in map 1. We'll see how that develops on process here.
Indeed. So we are going on to map 2. The Frenchies, they got 3 points coming out of the first one. That was very tightly fought. They managed to just barely hold them off in the first one. But, 4 points is 4 points. Let's see if they can get 3 more here, or if they're going to have to relinquish some of them. Very passive mid so far from both teams. We can see they're really just waiting out. Here comes the first jump in. That's going to be from Fishkov, I believe. It's going to go behind the Drow, actually. Going to be the first victim, and that could just be enough. Here comes the soldier. The Germans have just completely pressured the Frenchies into a corner. And you can see at this point they should just get out. Actually, Raph looks like he wants to stay in, but yeah, he's just going to get completely murdered by 2 scouts just jumping in from the high ground. And the Frenchies, they're still in, and now they're going to Uber. I don't understand why they're doing this. Like, they're just being so aggressive. Oh, they were on their own. They were caught in the wrong side. That makes a lot more sense. That is really unfortunate for them, so they're going to have to use the Uber to get out.
Oh, Rising Beast, 6 slope jump deep into people on second, but no one's close anyway. He wouldn't have had a good target. That was a really awkward bit. The Frenchies just said, you will give up your side of mid, and the Germans were super complacent with that. Figured out, well, you better be quick about it, or we'll just walk over whatever's left on your side. And they weren't that quick about it. Delhi was left alone, Solly was stuck as well with that, and it just forced them, like you said, to have to use to survive and get out in the first place here, giving up second with that completely as well. And it's just on the last push right now to work for the Germans.
Yeah, Germans, they were pretty slow about it. There's about 90% right now on Olga. The Germans, they need to take him down really quick, but he gets it just in time.
Scout Foxy!
Yeah, Scout just jumps on the point while everyone else was just laser focused on that medic getting his Uber. Well, Scout just stood on the point and capped it out. There we go. That's going to be 1-0. The Germans, they really wanted it. This is actually exactly what happened on the first map as well. Just a very strong round coming out immediately, but let's hope it works better for them this time around.
Yeah, and you'd imagine that the enemy side mid either is one they don't attempt now, or they just are much more careful about. And right now, we see just the Saudis taking a little bit of initiative, and the Germans actually just insisting on just going right side this time themselves. Maybe in the little bit of bait by the Frenchies, they just go straight into them. LSD takes so much damage early on. Bo misses the last rocket, won't get the kill, and the Germans keep on the aggression themselves and don't allow anyone to quit into the corner where they're stuck with really no help. Rising 8 loss. Fishkov making a good job, just not letting anyone get past the medkit on Frenchies' side of the mids, and it worked perfectly here. I think the Frenchies really just wanted to bait them going right side this time again and just jump them there aggressively, but the Germans really didn't let them and counter jump really nicely here.
Indeed, and then I even feel like the Frenchies, they probably could have made it more of a fight, but you could definitely tell that it was just a call, get out, don't fight this. And so it was like a 3v4 situation, but they had better heals and they had 2 scouts and a medic, and there was a really nice surf coming out from Olga as well in that mid. So it's just usually if your medic gets jumped and he gets like a really nice surf and he doesn't take a whole lot of damage, that usually just gives you a huge advantage just because there's so much damage being wasted on the medic. Right, like getting the medic low is just so worthless on mid fights in general. Right, like you want to kill him or not focus or not waste any ammo on the medic at all. And the Germans actually wasted quite a bit of ammo on him, but it was just barely not enough due to the factors that you already mentioned. Karnax going to go in there. He's going to be able to spot a bullet here coming out from Rising. He's
waiting in the corner behind him though.
Oh, alrighty. Yeah, he was hiding behind the boilers there. That's classic hiding position. And Rafi's going to try and see if he can get out here. And he's actually in really aggressively. Oh, just barely walked the wrong way. If he had dropped down the other way, that would have ended a lot better for him, but I mean, I guess we know he's not map hacking, and he's going to jump in here, try and see if he can find the medic. Nope. He's just only going to find the respawn queue waiting for him.
Yeah, so the stalemate will commence. Maybe just a big change of pace for both teams here right now after a really fast-paced last map. Now just a big old sniper stalemate rising against karnax yet again, and whoa, just gets the better end of it as the soldier, and at the same time Daddy also winning the demo fight on top of things. This is decent picks to have. They need to make some moves if they want to have any chance to leave this last point anytime soon on the French side.
They're gonna move out very aggressively right now. They have gotten out of the choke, so that means that they're not gonna get spammed out as much. LSD is in a very precarious situation. Yeah, Voxtec getting dropped is so huge right now. That Uber got used for absolutely nothing. LSD didn't die, but that was the only thing that Uber achieved. They're gonna have to just run out here. They're gonna have a huge Uber disadvantage now, and if they can't spam people out as they come through this choke, there's just no way they're going to be able to do much. We actually do see Rising in the corner, doesn't quite find the medic, but finds the demo man, tries to go for the double air shot, but he will only get one of them, but he gets the crater kill anyway. That's alright, but not quite what he was looking for.
Wiethoofd tries to initiate immediately as well, but didn't get through choke at all, got denied straight away, completely stuck with air, and that's just another thing for him to work with Gazi on the heavy here. Hoped to have something to play off, but that's just nothing he can really do here right now, besides just maybe delaying the cap a little bit, which is nice. Definitely will get LSD the Uber in time if that was any discussion about that, but that doesn't mean much right now. They will definitely be stuck on last for a little bit here, rising even on sniper.
Ooh, Soda jumps in very aggressively and actually gets the pop out very easily there. I feel like LSD pulled the trigger quite a bit early, in my opinion. They do get Wrath, and the Scout, he's going to continue to just walk forward. He's on the point right now. But the counter Uber, you can just see that the Germans, or the Frenchies, they're just itching to do it. And they are going to pop this Uber right now. They actually got a Soda in behind. He could go for the cap. Looks like Rison's not going to go for that. But he has done enough damage on the flank here that everyone else that was in the main Uber, they're just going to have to back off. They were running to last, but there's just no way they were going to be able to sustain that aggression.
Yeah, again, just offensive is the best defense sometimes, and for the Germans it clearly is the way to go, it seems. They just want to force on second, so they don't have to deal with Uber on last, and it worked out brilliantly this time around. Frenchie's not quite done with this yet. Round up, ready to jump. Roll one actually committing, finds LSD. One good rocket is not enough. The second one won't get through either, and Rising actually with the counter aggression at the same time into choke catches Olga, where his French component failed.
Really nice heads-up play there by Rising. He's been extremely good at just timing his bombs in there, just getting onto the medic and just hitting like 2 easy rockets on him, just getting that really nice first semi-juggle going and then just taking down the medic. And now it's going to be a full Uber advantage, but like there's a few players missing, and there's actually a back cap going on as well. Rising's going to see if he can come out here and block this. He's just spamming the point right now. He's not even jumping. He's like, nah, screw that. And the Scout just caps it out. That's really huge. Connor's going to try and see if he can go to last. Rising's not in a position to stop this, and he just loses the fight again, but Scout does come in there and help him out. Gazi, going to be a hero there, saves the day. But that whole series event with the back cap just led to so much chaos and got so much space for the Germans.
Yeah, the Germans just handled it fairly poorly. Like you said, Rising did not want to take the fight at the point. It's a losing one, but if it just comes down to blocking that or not for the rest of the team to have a better time on mid as well, it might just be the necessary evil here. Olga, with a really unfortunate death, has been chased down by the Evo on mid. Went down, but switches to crits for the surprise factor. Fish is behind on. I'm not sure they are aware. So that could just end that crits before it even starts.
Oh, they're not aware. He's coming in now. He's done. Oh, that's a nuke. But unfortunately, it was just everyone taking the same splash damage there. No one took a whole lot of damage as well. But that, I think that one rocket did like 400 damage. Like everyone was just clumped up. They had no idea Fish covered there. But unfortunately, not quite able to get the rockets onto the medic there. Just too many meat shields in the way. And now it's going to be a slight Uber advantage, or crits advantage rather. They're going to crits in this demo man. Can Deli do it again? Here it comes. He hasn't found anyone so far, but he's in deep. Everyone's going to have to back off. And here comes the counter Uber. So that crits did not work out, not yet at least. And Deli has gone down for it.
Yeah, that was just nice reaction. They're playing passive all the way back on the high ground and making sure nothing hits them there, so they played safe until they got the Uber, quickly popped that one, but karnax snuck into the backlines, block on second while he wins the fight on the backlines, but it's not fast enough.
But LSD goes down, like the follow-up jump there by the soldiers. Just again getting so much damage and taking down the medic just every single time it seems. So Olga, he's going to be up. They don't quite have very many players, so it does look like there might be some issues taking advantage of this Uber advantage, but we'll see. They're definitely moving into second right now, trying their best. Unfortunately for Idolus, he's not quite healthy enough there to actually contest choke aggressively. So I think they're just going to have to give up second. So I was a little bit worried for the Frenchies here, that they were actually going to be able to get in here, but they got in just fine. So they're going to have this full Uber advantage. They're going to be ready to go in here. They have everyone nicely buffed up, except for Dwo, who's a whole bunch of weak right now. But let's see if they can actually make this Uber work.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually managed to get a gun up here in time. The Frenchies are taking the sweet time to organize buff up.
It's crits again.
See what happens.
Yeah, it's actually a crit peak, and this sentry gun is just denying it so hard. The crits obviously doesn't work against the sentry gun. They've got the soldier behind, but he gets piped down as well. So just that one sentry gun just completely stuffing the crit creek. That was really disastrous right there. So LSD, he's going to have a full Uber right now. Let's hope he doesn't get jumped on. Soldier's going to try and see if he can get his way down there. That was Raph trying to jump in. Duo as well going to take down Vox Tech. So these soldiers, they're causing so much trouble right now. They have both been taken down now. But they managed to just stall a whole bunch before they actually died. And we can see currently Idolus, he's just so far forward. They actually managed to clean up the scout as well. Karnax going to go in there and see if he can get a pick. Not quite. But Ubers, they are evening out as we speak.
Yeah, it's poorly communicated as to where anything's going on though. And the gas was just in on second for so long, and it took so long for anyone to kill him as well. Lonely on engineer there, but eventually the crits comes out. Uber for LSD is ready though, and it's not quite able to save too many people. Drone Alien just don't even die to crits. Just on the sidelines, falling before they can get reached at all. So the crits merely just a threat for the rest of the team to play off.
Yeah, they're gonna have the crits advantage now, and you know everyone knows it in the entire server. But you know it is an advantage that you can use and play around. The sentry gun there was being set up again by Gassy. It just completely denied it before. So, you know the Frenchies they do a good job of just taking it down this time around. Sentry gun is nice against crit creeks, but it works a lot better if it's close and actually denies the entrance there. Raph gets taken down by the sniper. We can see the Frenchies, they were trying to play aggressive, just getting as deep as they could and then just at some point pop the crits once they got it. But now they lost 2 players and now they have the crit creek advantage. That's going to be really awkward, but they're going to take in the soldier in lobby. Oh, soldier actually jumps in. Really nice jump there by Fishkov. Perfect timing once again, and that's going to be a drop crit creek. No point in popping that obviously, but really nice timing there.
The worst thing about that is as well that Karnax saw him go that way. He was hiding in the corner wanting to get behind, and he got behind, technically speaking, at least past Fishkov. But as Fishkov was able to get so much work out of the bomb, they should have known was coming their way. And it just still goes this badly right now. Graf and Dwarf both going deep, one behind, one for the medic. LSD will use. Backup won't come through right now. Karnax denied as well. Uber can't do much else beyond that, and it is decent ad for Olga, but they will be 2 down here for a little while longer on mid.
Aggressive jump in here by the demo man. Gonna just completely shut down his choke. That's a successful mid push there. Really nice job. Raph and Dwo, they're about to spawn. That's gonna be really important. You want to spam that choke really heavily as people walk through it. Soldiers are surprisingly important when it comes to these second holds. And even mid holds as well. There's some stickies on the ramp, but that's not going to be a big deal. Scout actually waiting around the corner here with the rock. They're going to try to catch out the soldier, but Raph just not being able to be hit right now. Just does a really nice job. Everyone else does get out of the choke though, but you can just see just how aggressively the Frenchies they want to use this Uber right now, and they actually are just going to use it and pop through.
Yeah, they had a lot of damage to play. They wanted to keep the momentum up, but they decided just a bit too late. Everybody's super far back. The only one they're catching is Rising in the back lines. That's nice and all, but it costed them this whole advantage, even if they were to get second for free completely, which they still haven't been capped at either. So the Germans can just play off the point not being capped, and with the Uber ad all the way into choke. Unable to reach much. Dwo stuck in Raph all the way on last, but he has no time on second to play off here.
The Germans are actually losing a bunch of players and taking so much damage. This one scout, that's Karnax, goes in, actually kills the medic, so no heals right now. So the Frenchies, they can just play around their medic and just tank the heals and just play it slow. And that's not quite what they're doing. They're being pretty aggressive, but it's working out. Alien's just cleaning up. That's a 5k he's on right now. So they get it eventually. They get second. They have a Uber advantage as well. Like the Germans, they're looking shaky right now. They are up 1 point, but They're in danger of losing it.
Yeah, the push-outs just haven't been consistently getting them like on a second, like in a controlled way at all. Even if they had mid-pushes, they just lost very quickly. Now, in the last Frenchies yet again with an opportunity. This time full normal Uber, rising in the gun, going down fairly quickly as they push across point. Karnax camping with Uber, just forcing everybody to the right side corner. Left spawn is doing a lot of work, so Voxy, Gassy just killing the people on the point, but it is losing fight right now.
This hero Pyro, he needs to be super heroic. There's actually a scout on the point, nobody's watching it. Soda jumps in, gets so many kills.
Just far enough away, juggled himself there, and it's just unfortunately not enough. That was such a close call for how good this was going into it.
Yeah, like the Frenchies, they got in so deep with that Uber, and then they almost threw it away. There's like just this scout dancing around on the point, and everyone just had their backs turned to him, so they weren't actually capping. And he was like on 20 HP as well. So they almost threw that away, but they do manage to get it out in the end here. So once again, both teams going to just stand around on their own side, just to look at the situation, see if they can read it properly. Nobody has actually made a move yet. It's just spamming and trying to see if they can juke for the high ground. So we're just going to jump behind. That's Rising. So he's just way behind. Actually going to try and go into sewers right now, but there's actually a scout waiting for him. So Karnax read that really well. That's going to be one soldier down. And like the Germans, they're definitely the most aggressive team, but they've also lost the point. Karnax actually does go down now. So will this positioning work out for the Germans? Here comes the soldier jump in. LSD gets skyboxed just into the air. He will certainly just find himself at the loving arms of a scout just waiting for him. So the French is just slowly trying to whittle away at them, but they're actually only 3 up, so they're going to have to get out here. They have the Uber, and Voxtek goes down. It looks like they are actually going to be able to just maintain this Uber. They lose the scout, but Soda does clean them up, and actually Olga's going to get the final kill there. So what a mid right here. A very different result.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is this was still such a winnable fight for them on the German side at the end there. But their sack waves, like the coordination on everybody, is just not good enough, and it just keeps being like going in one by one into 3 people that can no doubt easily deal with that, just one after another, and not ever be like the biggest of threats to lose Olga there. When really it should be really hard to be able to survive that on the Frenchies end, even if still doable. So unfortunate for the Germans, they lose mid again, and they had trouble to just play up the disadvantaged positions they've been in the past few minutes here.
Okay, all right. We've got to pause, and we're pretty sure it's because that they're not. All right, okay. They're trying to extend the server, and they're like, oh no, what do we do? Wiethoofd might have bailed them out already, but you know, let them sweat a bit. You know, it's a.
At least it shows that they were aware that the server time is slowly running out, you know?
Yeah.
It's better that they at least realize that this is a possibility, because if they don't, then the server is just going to run out, you know?
Yeah, I'll take a small pause over the server just dying any time of the day. Alright, okay, yeah, that was a very short pause. No biggie there. It's, but we're getting ready, and they're actually, the Frenchies, they're just going to completely move in here. They take second almost for free. LSD, he's going to give up second, but he's almost certainly going to be able to build his Uber in time. Building it pretty quickly, and yeah, there we go. So even Ubers, actually the sentry gun going down, that should open up the opportunity for soldiers to get in here, and Medic is holding close. LSD, he's not been found right there. There's some really nice denial coming out from Gassy and Fishkop. Going to take down that soldier, but it's really dangerous to hold close as a Medic if you don't have a sentry gun there.
Yeah, just a gun on last is always such a nice safety that it takes so long for people to take down. It's just nice entries really well. And for the moment, it's Karnax trying to be the one initiating here, while the gun is just not quite up yet, and he got dangerous amounts of damage done there. It's just not quite enough with that many people still being there. So an attempt to double bomb might have actually been enough, but the Frenchies playing it safe for now. They still have plenty of time to get this never round here, and being in the situation that they are in, you can take your time a little bit, and speaking of which, they will just do that. Pick up the sniper rifle Karnax, the one picking it up here and just hoping to whittle away, which decently worked on the last on the mid fight so far as like a general idea. A little bit just more passive approach. Maybe that's just what they need right now.
Yeah, this is the pause. Everyone's just like standing around like, oh my god, the server's gonna die. But they're fine. They're fine. There was the pause. All right, and we got Karnax on sniper. Like, there was a really telegraphed off-classing, I'd say. Like, he just barreled in there, like, into a sentry gun and a demo man and a soldier and a scout.
Yes,
he didn't
the most
care.
obvious case of off-classing to sniper.
Yeah, not
Generally
subtle
speaking.
at all. Yeah, and he's actually going to get headshot right here by Voxic. So they 100% know that he's there right now. So we're just kind of settling in for a sniper duel right now.
Yeah, we'll see who wins that. I think so far it's been Rising more so than Voxy, so I'm interested to see how Voxy does in comparison. So far it's been like pretty close. Rising instead on playing sniper, just hiding behind the boiler, doing what Dwo did before him, and seeing if he can catch somebody anywhere, but with as much presence as Voxy keeps having in lobby, no one really wants to take the space there. They just play really, really careful about it, which is much more common if you're in the lead, but they still have 11 minutes and 8, let alone on the round timer, so they can take their time here as much as they want to.
Karnax gonna hit a nice little body shot there onto Voxy. No, he's gonna just slink back to his medic and ask for a buff. These sniper duels, they very often just come down to whoever has the biggest buff. Right, like if you just wander off a little bit too far from your medic, you're gonna die to a body shot. It's very simple. And once again, we actually have is it Dwo hiding behind the? Oh, that's Rising this time around, hiding around the boilers. Let's see if it works again. You know, the Frenchie, they should know about it. Actually, Dwo's gonna be very aggressive here in rollout, but not quite getting it.
Fishkop almost dying for his efforts there too on the other side on the receiving end. Not good working out. Rising with some patience here. The Alien not checking it either. Just really hoping to catch him unaware. And actually, Alos gets
he's on the medic, but he's missed 2 rockets. But oh my god, that was unbelievable. There we go. Finally, the Uber Force comes out, but they lost
all the spam as well on the dispenser though from rollout there. So he has to use fairly early too. Still a better Uber, but still not as good as it maybe could have been.
Karnax
they could have just waited a lot longer. Yeah, Karnax just trying to survive for all he can. Waste a lot of time. It makes everybody just go for him instead of anything else. So it's basically sacking his life for everybody else to get out. And it's really unfortunate that the moment the action started happening in lobby, they just were neglectful towards rollout and did all of spam just hitting LSD at the same time.
That was terrible, right? Just for everyone. I think nobody was happy with how that played out.
Basically.
Yeah. Just awful. It just didn't work out for anybody. They were just destroying each other's day right there. Rising didn't get the medic force that he wanted. Snipers dying, Uber's getting forced, people dying before the Uber, and then Uber's not accomplishing anything. So we are just back in the saddle, baby. It's only Rising on Sniper right now, so it's just a full cookie cutter lineup. Rap's gonna see if he can get in here along with Dwo, but they're certainly gonna keeping the medic safe, and people are just cleaning it up really well. Let's see if there's a counter sack as well. It's gonna be a little more difficult due to them having MGs and spies and whatnot. But here comes the soldier in. They actually. That was a pretty nice rocket there by Fishkop, but he's not going to get onto the. Oh, there's an engineer on the medic. How did that happen? He gets the force out. I don't understand. Engineers can't rocket jump, can they?
I mean, not without the gun anyway.
Everyone
but that gun
dies,
is on Lars, and everything just died trying to play aggressive here in the weirdest way possible. I don't know if they knew what they were doing, but it didn't feel like it, and it clearly didn't pan out either. So desperate attempt to get out of Lars really early to do it as well. There's still plenty of time left, but they just looked so like hopeless there and just trying to do anything. And it did not play out the way they wanted to. I don't know which way that was supposed to be, but it's 2-1 for the Frenchies now.
Yeah, both demo men kind of mess up on their rollout. Deli less so. He's going to be there first, but both of them are too slow to get any kind of pre-spam going on. And once again, Soldier comes in pretty aggressively, so Rising, he's going to play his own choke and he destroys that scout. Really nice, the Rig Rocket. Soldier's going to come in onto the medic as well. That's Fishkop. This is looking great for the Germans. There's only 2 alive and they're just completely surrounded on all sides, taken down. Rising's going to be the only person who actually died, but he was the one that just spearheaded that entire push, so that's fine. If you lose your roam on mid and nothing else, you're happy.
Yeah, if the only casualties are Solis, then everything is going according to plan, right? These are expected losses as long as they are pulling in the work, and if everything else dies, then you can't complain. So full momentum swing back to the Germans' favor after whatever happened on last. Let's forget about it as we see a last push of their own instead. Gun goes down quickly, Sniper completely stuck in spawn, can't go anywhere. Dwo as well, it's kind of alone on right side. They get no cat time so far though.
Yeah, they have no time on the point, and they haven't gotten any kills either, so this didn't work out at all. The Germans have kind of historically in these games. Yep, that's a complete wipe. Soldier and a medic will survive, so it's not going to be... Like, there's a small chance that they actually managed to just push them back out here. They have 4 spawners coming out, and it's a demo man and a soldier and a scout. That's a really nice dynamic duo or trio to just come in and block the point, but they're not quite fast enough. But a soldier and a medic are not that good, and this is really unfortunate for the Germans because they've been really good at getting rounds by just winning mid and just rolling into last. That's kind of the most consistent way that they've won this, and the fact that they failed it right now is not very fortunate for them because like that was the biggest thing they had going for them. That just took those easy rounds like very consistently, but not this time around. Frenchies, they're gonna push in here. Everyone else has been pushed out from the Germans, and they're gonna get mid.
Ooh, there was lots of spam already with the Solis just attempting to go deep. No one doubled down on it, no one committed really deep. A lot of spam still hitting Olga, though he's really weak, uses early. Same response sort of LSD, slightly better before them now. Not much flashing on either side here as they're just getting stuffed into sewer, and Drow actually goes down first. Delhi blocked off exit as well. That picks all the way in German's favor right now. Post-Uber should be looking good as long as they're careful about it, and so are the Frenchies, not even taking like any risk of losing anyone else, and really nicely done here. They just took the aggressive exchange and forced them back with it early on, didn't let them take any space towards second at all, and there we go, they are back in it, maybe? No forward spawns either, not to have to worry about Raph. Fight, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a really big win there. So he's going to be a nuisance on this flank. He's getting just ready to just take so much attention, and he is doing that. Duo's going to come in here as well, see if he can get onto the medic. Nice serve there by LSD, but he is weak. So he might just not be able to be in this fight, but it looks like the Germans have just actually won this. Alien going down, that's definitely going to swing it in their favor. LSD and the rest of the team, like they have so many players that karnax actually just wins a 1v1 against the scout. There's some stickies on the point, but this demo man, he's getting jumped by the soldier as well. He's actually surfed around and somehow hasn't died. There we go, finally dies, everyone's dead. And we do have a comeback round for the Germans, so this is just an extremely close game. These teams are so closely matched, and now it's going to be another 2v2 situation. Basically the same amount of time left as last map as well.
Yeah, they didn't let themselves get threatened by the player behind too much. They just did something that Ascent is really good at, which is just immediate aggression onto people entering the point. They just sent the Solis deep onto whoever the other team's trying to push from and get a lot of damage out of it, and it worked out brilliantly. Everything on entry just died. The only thing they had to worry about was the bomb from the backlines at that point anymore, and that worked out nice for them as well. So they're back in it.
Indeed, it's going to be a big bomb in here from the soldiers. The first one's going to veer off, and then it's going to just be Raph against the entire enemy team. He dies very quickly, so this is a nice little advantage coming out here for the Germans. Looks like they're definitely winning out. So the Germans, they're just going to send everything on to, or the Frenchies are going to send everything on to the medic, but a nice serve from LSD is going to make sure that he doesn't die, and the rest of the team was there as well. We do see a soldier trying to chase down the medic, but the medic has a scout with him, and Rising isn't full health either, so it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to find any success here.
Yeah, Nate counter jumps early on and just play patiently from an out and not let anything get too close to the medic. At least one rocket, I think, is all that hit him, and he served that one well at two. So again, we're in a similar position we've been before on Sunshine. Little time left, the Germans on the trigger here, getting forced quite early in lobby, and there's little idea of where they want to go with the Super, so it's just Rising in deep alone, and it's not going to do much of anything.
Raph getting a nice air shot there onto Rising. I'm not quite sure that counts as a double, but yeah, he did a lot of work. Fiskov super weak, not going to be able to get out alive. So Germans not quite able to finish it off. And this is where the pendulum can really swing in favor of the Frenchies. They are just ready. They have the full Uber advantage. It's just a matter of where they're going to go. Actually, they're going to go in through a PC area. And there's no stickies there, so they don't even need to pop through. That's usually the big downside to going that way, but they just neatly circumnavigate it. Actually, Guys is just going to plus forward into Delhi, takes him down. And that's going to be really important. And now Olga has used his Uber. They did get LSD. So the Frenchies, they are winning out on this, but they're not capping middle just yet. They're being very slow about that. They're getting the kills, but not the caps. And the soldier's jumping around. Get him, actually gets air arrow by Olga. Alright.
He hit him twice too, like the moment he landed on the pack, Olga just pre-fired that one and hit him 470 or whatever straight away too, so perfectly predicted. That's the advantage maybe of just playing every class. You know what they will try to do, and it works out in his favor here. It's not the biggest of advantage, and with Rising wasting this much time, they just took forever to play for mid to begin with, like you said, and they won't have any like entry to second right now, so this might have just gotten the Germans quite fine. With Olga going for arrows too, he wasn't building for a little bit, so it's basically even what could have been like 20-25 head.
Indeed, getting air shot was the correct play right there. That was a good play. And I'm not even kidding. Alright, we have Raph jumping through, actually being very aggressive. Just gonna bump that in. the double sorter just run into each other, but Raft gets arrowed. Looks like Duo's very weak, but here comes the Uber push in. So it's just going to be an Uber exchange. They're trying to catch in the medic here. He's not going to fall for that. He's not going to stand on all the stickies. But Deli is in so aggressively. He needs the rest of his team to just come in here with him, and they have not done that. So it seemed like a bit of a miscommunication right there for the Frenchies. Oh, Sorter's in the air. Will he get air shot? He's going to get arrowed again. So Olga just arrowing everybody right now. Medic's in the sky, but oh my god, just... or LSD just surviving with the skin of his teeth right there. Like, he was so close to getting a shot as well. But somehow the Frenchies, they have now turned it around again.
Yeah, it's just... It is close of a match right now. The Frenchies, their players down, but they want to contest here. They don't want to let them get this point for free with this little time left. And the bluff factor alone, it seems to be good enough. They might think they have more Uber than they actually end up having right now. Olga not at all actually at 100% right now, but it seems to scare them off enough with the threat of karnax now in the backlines as well. The Germans just let themselves get put into this corner that it's really hard to get out of.
It's about 40 seconds remaining, and it's even Uber. You need to just really have a good result here. Rising actually going to get taken down as he tries to force the Uber and choke. The Ubers do end up getting forced here, but the Frenchies, they are one man up right now, so I think the Germans, they're just going to try to retreat, and they might just get slaughtered as they do so. Idles has gone down at least. There is still a scout running around on this second point. You see the medic, Olga just going to go down there and bait him. Actually, that works out really well. So now they have 15 seconds to get this last point. And they get LSD as well. The single soldier on the point. 10 seconds. Scout on it. Are they actually going to do it? Soldier comes in. Not enough. And that's going to be 3-2 in favor of the Frenchies. They win both maps 3-2. They get 3 points on both of them. So it's a 6-0, but it's about as close as a 6-0 as I've ever seen.
Yeah, basically, that was, like... I don't know if it's the right way to describe it. It might just be a throw, you know? Like, they had mid, and it all came down to the Frenchies just bluffing the health, bluffing the Uber situation. They had 70 against, like, 90 at the time. And they just went in anyway against all odds, and the Germans felt pressure. They gave them mid, and the whole chaos from then on out just started with that one little bit of decision-making for the Frenchies.
Indeed, I definitely saw like the Germans had a tendency to just retreat a little bit prematurely. Like when there was just this big fight going on, you could just see that they were like, "Oh, I think we're gonna lose this. Let's just retreat." And then as they retreated, they just got pounced on and died. So I'm not sure if we're gonna look at some logs before we get an interview. And all right, we'll do some logs, and then we'll probably get. At least one guy in here. I've spotted Olga in the mumble already. But once again, we see actually, of all the top damaging players, like 5 of them are on the German team. So Fiskop's going to top damage, and then it's going to be Deli, and then it's Idlers, Voxtec, Gazi, and Rising. And just the team damage as well just heavily favors the Germans and the mid fights.
But sometimes it's just efficiency, and they might be getting the damage, and they might even just barely get more kills, but then you look at what really matters, the match survivability, and it's just 6-9 in Olga's favor, basically, which doesn't sound like much, but it was a low death game for both medics here, and any like death more makes such a big difference, and that clearly was the case. Every time LSD just died out of nowhere, it just made a huge momentum swing for the Frenchies to play off, and just having even more of those opportunities makes all the difference for them. Looking at the heal difference as well, like so much more healing came out of Olga because of that in the end as well. Just so much more efficiency on the like less damage they had on the Frenchies. They still got like barely the same amount of kills as well on top of that. So if nothing comes out of the damage, then it doesn't mean that you outdamage them so much.
Indeed, you can still just outplay them, and I think that's exactly what the Frenchies did there. So France proves that they're the superior country to Germany. Because that's how you decide that in Teamfortress.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's ask the man of the hour. We got an interview. We've got good old Olga in here. So congratulations, dude. That was close, but it worked out.
Like it seems like every close games that we have is like really tense. Like it's playing on like the last seconds every time.
Yeah. What were you guys thinking when the Germans were pushing you into last on the first map?
Well, I was thinking that it was Doom and I had to do something, so I went for a soul. eventually it went well.
Yeah, but then what was different, right? Because it was 2-2, and the Germans actually had mid on process. So, like, what was the call? Are you the main caller?
No, basically we have we all a bit main calling, but Raf is main calling the most.
Okay, so it's the hive mind. What was the hive mind call to do in that situation?
I think it was Raf, because I think we were in a situation like 3v4 at some point, but
Right.
we managed to like delay our spawners to make them like go to mid faster. So eventually we had criteria so we could bust. And also there was like the last move is really from karnax, who managed to go behind. And so he killed I think one soldier, which was the opening.
Right, yeah. It seemed like you guys were really good at punishing the Germans for trying to retreat whenever there was a big fight. Like, it just seemed like you guys were more confident. Is it that? Are you just like fully committing to these fights and just go like, well, if we don't win this, we're just all gonna die in here. Like, we're not gonna retreat, or is that just what it looks like?
Not really. Like during this fight, like also the Germans were really passive, I think. Like they had like many situations where they could like just fuck us, but I don't know. And also I managed to bait some players in many times.
All right, okay. I just want to hear, you guys are playing top 5 Rocket next season, or not next week. So that's going to be like the big French showdown, right? So do you have anything you want to say to those guys, and just shout outs in general?
Well, if we have to analyze a bit, well, top 5 is a really good team, obviously, but I think that like regarding the last season, we're better now because of Delhi, because of many things that we changed in our practices. So yeah, I think it's gonna depend on Sorex, like whether he's gonna have like 40 kills or 70 kills.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Any final shout-outs before we send it back over to TF2L, because there's a cracker of a game going on over there.
Well, shout out to the Germans first, because they're the only one national team, I would say, in Pro. Shout out to our team. Shout out to you guys for casting, and shout out to the people that were watching.
All right. Okay, Dom. Take us out of here and take us over to TF2L.
All right, yeah, just shout-outs to everybody watching, shout-outs to everybody stepping in last minute for the reschedule of this game. It's always nice when chaos works out in the end with scheduling, but here we are, and with that, let's just move over to the end of Sandy U versus Sauna Slayers, I think it is.
Also very important, shout out to Dom and Wiethoofd for extending our server.
Yeah.